Coach Colin here. Let's not waste any time. A message from your brave, intelligent, and very Indian Vice President, Kamala Devi Harris.
Must be addressed.
The bill also says, quote, every individual who is a resident of the United States is entitled to benefits for health care services under this act. Not every individual who's a citizen, but every individual who's a resident. So you support giving universal health care, Medicare for all, to people who are in this country illegally?
Let me just be very clear about this. I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being from access to public safety, public education, or public health, period. Must be addressed.
You see, the things about borders are that they're invisible. And when you have an invisible border, anyone can just come in, because we cannot be burdened by borders that have been, especially when they're invisible. Am I right? Oh, it's scary. She's for open borders. If you didn't understand that clip, that's her saying she's for open borders. A lot of people don't understand that. We're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff in this clip. You're going to hear Rogan and Mike Malice say some delusional things. You're going to hear them say some funny things. You're going to hear them say some on-point things. That is the JRE experience. And then, of course, afterwards, I'm going to come with the facts, going to show you some Mark Zuckerberg stuff, FBI stuff. One FBI deputy is saying one thing, one director is saying something completely different, and people are questioning whether or not Trump actually got shot in his ear. It is all ridiculous, but we're going to keep talking about the assassination attempt because the news media is trying to make it go away. Let's get into this.
I feel like we are in this very bizarre time where people are giving in to the bullshit in a way that I never suspected people would before. And this is one, they just want no Trump, no matter what, and they're willing to gaslight themselves to think that. And by the way, I think Hillary could win. If Hillary jumped back in.
I've been saying that for months.
If Hillary jumped back in, I think the problem was also the money, because there was it was like $250 million in the campaign fund that has to, if it only works if she's on the ticket.
Right.
So that's part of the problem. But I feel like Hillary could win. She won the popular vote in 2020.
I've been saying this for a year in different shows, and she would have won in pretty.
Michelle Obama could win too.
No, I don't
if
think
she wanted to do it. You don't think so?
I don't. I think that's kind of this. You sound like your parents. I think that's this boomer idea. She doesn't want it.
I'm not saying that she would be awesome at it. But I think
anyone can win of either party, whoever the nominee is. Like even Chris Christie could have won if he's the Republican nominee. It's possible. I would have
thought that Trump getting shot would that's it, election's over. But it's like they memory hold that so quick.
You would have thought Trump getting shot would have had 8 years of corporate journalists talking about hate speech causing violence to be like, let's take a step back, and that went for what, a week?
They did take a step back for a little bit, and then they went right back at him.
You want to talk about this memory holding?
Yeah.
With the insanity of the who's that? That was Elon who put it up. Like if you Google President Donald, it says President Donald Reagan. What happened?
Maybe they fixed it. It said President Donald Trump.
Okay. Well, he had a screenshot, so I'm sure he didn't Photoshop that.
I mean, it's based on a lot of things, right? Like what people are searching for. I would imagine that the assassination attempt on Trump would be the first one that you would see.
Yeah.
Assassination attempt on President would be Trump because that's the most recent.
Yes.
But it's not.
And most newsworthy.
But it does show it. You just have to type it all in, which is interesting because that little difference between what you can find and what you get presented immediately has a huge shift in the way people access information. And this is Robert Epstein's work.
The Creepy Line, the documentary. Everyone should watch it.
Yeah. And this thing is very real. And what it is like if you try to Google certain negative stories, like negative stories on people, it will overwhelm you with positive stories. It'll take a long time before you get to the negative stories.
Yeah, how he explained it is here's how they can tip the scale.
Yeah.
If I Google Hillary Clinton and I have it so Google gives fairly positive stories about Hillary as the first 10 results, you're not going to go to the second page. If I Google Donald Trump and Google gives you 7 negative stories, it's going to move the needle a little bit toward her
Quite
against
a bit.
him. Yeah.
Quite a bit. Like if you're a person who's on the fence, you're like, maybe Donald Trump's not a bad guy. And then you Google him and then you start reading some of these like pieces that they've written about him. It'll change your perspective.
You really think she's going to win?
I'm saying it because she could. I'm not saying it because I think she's going to, and I'm not saying because I want her to. I'm just being honest. Like I could see her winning.
I think she's going to lose a lot of the black male vote.
Really? That's
I don't think
interesting.
they're going to go in the booth and pull the lever for her like they did for Biden, who was Obama's boy.
When Trump came out to 50 Cent, that many men, wish death upon me, and N-word and everything. Like, didn't censor it out. Everybody's like, oh, shit, he won. It happened so quickly, the shift from, oh my God, they shot him, to him again.
Yeah.
It's like, people are questioning whether or not he actually got shot because his ear healed.
I got to tell you something else about him. He was on, who was the Fox guy who just died? With Stu Varney a couple years ago. And he goes, Stu, that's the N-word. You know what the N-word is, right, Stu? And Stu's like, he goes, nuclear, the nuclear word. Mm-hmm. And I was on the Blaze, Glenn Beck's network for midterms, and Trump calls in, and he's like, that's the N-word, nuclear. I'm like, are we really doing this right now? Like, Trump's talking about the N-word, and then he means nuclear?
Yeah.
It was nuts.
It's hilarious. What is this? Trump did not walk out to 50 cents, but rather to a country singer. So is that fake? Those videos are fake? Where he walks out?
So I can't actually play them playing 50 Cent's song. But again, this is a little bit of a boomer moment. Somebody just overlaid it. They made it sound like it was in a big stadium. And that essentially tricked Joe into thinking that Donald Trump really walked out to 50 cents. Now, don't get me wrong. It's completely believable. I mean, this is definitely Trump's anthem. He should definitely be doing it. But that's not what happened. Let's get back into the show.
Image of him in the back, and he put Donald Trump's head over his body.
But do you know what?
Maybe that's fake too.
There's a big sea change because even 3 years ago, if you had said Trump kind of sucks, I don't really like him, he had no business being president, you're a Trump supporter. Because unless you say he's the worst thing to happen to America, you're a Trump supporter, right?
Right.
So for Mark Zuckerberg to go on camera and be like, this guy was kind of a badass, and that was awesome, and not to have any, and to feel safe to say that, not to have any negative consequences, that's a big deal in terms of the conversation moving.
Well, I do not think that Mark Zuckerberg, from my interactions with him, was very comfortable with the FBI telling them to suppress the Hunter Biden laptop story.
Let's talk about this, because there's a lot of people who, I don't blame them, think, oh, boo-hoo, you're forcing me to do it, but he's happy to do it anyway. So you're saying that he actually, it was like...
Well, he brought it up. I mean, when I asked I asked him what they did with it. He told the whole story. He didn't try to hide from it at all. And he said they basically reduced its the ability to spread it.
Right.
You could post it, you could read it, you could interact with it, but they reduced its reach.
Right.
By like 50% or something like that, or whatever the number was, which I don't understand how you do that, or what are you doing? I don't know. I'll let that go.
You can understand, because if you on Facebook, what gets
recommended?
No, not recommended. I'm not on Facebook anymore for this reason. Your feed, I don't see all my friends' posts.
Right.
So if they just have it post 50% less, it's very easy to do.
Right. I think that's Instagram as well.
Yes,
it's
correct. Same company.
Same sort of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you see that with people. That's what shadow banning is.
Right.
It's difficult for people to see your
Right.
They do that on purpose.
Of course they do. They can't do it by accident.
No, I mean, it's a real thing. I don't know if he's comfortable with the government telling them to do something that turned out to be an actual true story.
Is that what he said?
No. I mean, I have to imagine by him saying that that's one of the most badass things that I've ever seen. He's got a reasonable perspective, because it was one of the most badass things. Whether you love Donald Trump or not, let's pretend he's from another country, you have no stake in the game. That guy almost getting shot and raising his fist up like that. And there's so many fucking weird things about that story. But the story of the assassination itself. You should be. Everyone should be really uncomfortable with the fact that that happened, and not like saying he didn't even get shot.
Yeah,
you're missing the whole point.
I tweeted this out. I go, I wish the White House were freaking out about this as much as they are about climate change, because this would be a big moment to be like, whoa, 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 like this can never happen again. But when Steve Scalise got shot, they were like, and then went back to business. Like didn't happen.
Also, why were they streaming it? They don't stream his campaign things.
They do it a lot.
Do they do it a lot?
Oh, yeah.
They do it a lot?
Oh, yeah.
CNN does it a lot?
Not CNN.
CNN did this one.
Yeah.
The FBI kind of added some problems to this, too.
What would they say?
They said they were unclear on whether he was actually pierced by a bullet.
Or a fragmented portion of one. Oh, so it could have been a ricochet.
A shrapnel, yeah.
Yeah, because I know there was something that got hit. There was a video that I saw of a railing that got hit. So it might have been a piece of the bullet that hit his ear.
But also, how are we not seeing this kid's social media?
Right. Also, did you read the story about the examination of his house? That it was completely scrubbed. There was no silverware. It was like spotless. Like a team went over it and scrubbed it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Also, did you hear the story about how someone using ad tracking, so they can find out where you're going just based on ad tracking, and they found that someone from a building near the FBI offices was regularly visiting this kid. Back and forth.
Seriously?
Yes. Yeah, find that, Jamie.
I just got the video about the house. I'm trying to see.
We also don't even know how
Okay,
the Las
we'll go to
Vegas.
the video of the house first, and then we'll go to.
But also, just
There you go.
sidebar.
Listen,
we don't know.
MK Ultra was a real thing. To think they don't do that anymore? Oh, come on.
I believe we had people that participated in that securing of it. There were bomb assets that we provided.
Mr. Chairman, can I have 30 more seconds?
Yeah, I'm letting everybody count.
Okay.
On the night of. Since then, none.
Did you get any reports from any of your agents of anything fishy at the home?
I was briefed on.
Was there any silverware found in the home or trash?
I have nothing in the briefing that I was given.
I guess maybe he's reporting on that report then.
Yeah, he must be reporting on that report. So that's not.
but, I
That's a
mean,
very incomplete.
Remember the Las
video.
Vegas shooter?
Yeah, that's a weird one too.
They just completely forget. Just stop talking about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of those that you go, what the is that? What is that? Why'd they do that?
The fact that we're talking about January 6th for years, and this is just like,
Yeah, it's that. Well, January 6th was a lot of people, and they thought of it as.
But this is a presidential
Yeah.
candidate. Come on, I mean.
Oh, it's all man. It's weird. The whole thing is weird. This kid had these devices and remote controls for detonators, like very sophisticated stuff.
And we have not seen any of it, which I find very interesting. What did he plan on doing? He was going to take shots and then thought he was going to detonate something? Or was he, it's very interesting. Or maybe they shot him before he could detonate something, but then where was it? And they don't even talk about, they say that they have it, but they don't say where they actually found it. It's maybe in the car. Maybe the plan was to get off the shot, set off the detonator, maybe blow up his van, distract everybody, and get away. I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of in regards to that. But let's get into it. Oh, you know where we got to start. The most delusional thing. Hillary Clinton could win? No, she can't. Let me just be clear, guys. No, she could never. Okay? Could you imagine how a Hillary Clinton rally would go? There'd be just people screaming, you kill people. That's all people be yelling. They'd be yelling, oh, what about the interns? 56 body count. People just be wearing 26 times on 26 flights to Epstein Island. They'd be wearing shirts that say that. It's crazy. She's done. Between her and Bill and all the speculation around them, they're done. They're never coming back. They can be in the background like the Obamas and Pelosi and everything, but they're done in terms of running for president. That's over with. That's finished. The fact that they think that she could, either talking about it like, oh, yeah, I've been saying that for months. What? Hillary Clinton? What? Oh my gosh. It would just, no. The amount of, just thinking of what, first of all, her rallies would consist of 100 people. 50 of them would be there because they don't like her. It would just be over and over again, people yelling at her. She probably wouldn't even have rallies. She definitely wouldn't debate because she has PTSD from the last debate she had with Trump. There's no chance. There's no chance. And we don't know how she's doing mentally either. And then they say Michelle Obama. It's funny that Mike Malice was like, Michelle Obama's a boomer idea. Hillary Clinton's a boomer idea. Like, what? It's all boomer ideas. These are silly ideas. You know what you have to understand about Hillary Clinton? Kamala is the new Hillary Clinton. If you notice how the machine I talked about this before, the machine activated for Hillary the exact same way it's activating for Kamala right now. The exact same way. And if you look at them both, she's the 2024 version of Hillary. Person of color. Which color? We don't know. Got to keep you guessing. Depends on what she's doing, and yeah, she's the new Hillary Clinton. So Hillary's done. Let's get to what they were talking about in regards to Mark Zuckerberg. Just in case you haven't seen it, Mark Zuckerberg was doing an interview and he ended up saying this.
I mean, on a personal note, it's, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, on a personal note, it's, seeing Donald Trump get up.
Mark Zuckerberg is not playing around. He got a new hairstyle. If you didn't see him on the 4th of July, he was surfing, dressed in a suit with an American flag, drinking a beer. Oh man, that's what happens when you start doing jiu-jitsu. You get home, your wife's like, you want an Impossible Burger? And you're like, nah, I can't have Impossible Burgers anymore. I need steak. I need steak right now. That's what happens. That's what's happening. He's going to be like Jeff Bezos. He's going to be jacked soon. He's going to fight in the UFC. Watch. Dana will sign him in a second. But that's what Mark Zuckerberg had to say. Let's move on to the FBI, if you didn't know. Some people are saying that this gentleman has been caught in perjury, because here's what he has to say about Trump getting shot. FBI Director Chris Wray.
With respect to former President Trump, there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel that that hit his ear. So it's conceivable. Although, as I sit here right now, I don't know whether that bullet, in addition to causing the grazing, could have also landed somewhere else. But I believe we've accounted for all of the shots and the cartridges. So let us, with respect.
So that's what he had to say. Okay, so now here's someone else from the FBI. I believe this gentleman's name is Paul Abrate or Abate. It's Abbate. Yeah, ATE. Let's get into it. I believe he's the deputy director. And this is what he had to say about this whole thing.
Deputy Director of the FBI, is that correct?
Yes, Senator.
Is there any doubt in your mind or in the collective mind of the FBI that President Trump was shot in the ear by a bullet fired by the assassin crooks?
Senator, there is absolutely no doubt in the FBI's mind whether former President Trump was hit with a bullet and wounded in the ear. No doubt, there never has been.
Okay.
I've been part of this investigation since the very beginning, and that has never been raised.
You're sure?
Yes.
It was a deputy director of the.
That's amazing. So there you go. One guy's saying, there's some doubt there, and the other guy's like, there is zero doubt. I've been on this the whole time. There's no doubt whatsoever. Chris Wray is probably somewhere like, are you guys kidding me? We were supposed to stick together. We all had a story. We're supposed to be the best at this. Are you guys kidding me? Nope. So some people are suggesting that that's a bit of perjury. I don't think it's perjury. You could easily say he just didn't know. It's an investigation that he's probably not on top of.
With respect to former President Trump.
Easy. He's probably not on top of like he should be. So what ends up happening, I would guess, is that he's not really on top of it. He's doing what Kim Cheadle did. He's sitting in front of people like he has the answers, doesn't really have the answers, misspeaks a bunch of times. Someone else actually does have the facts. They start saying the facts, and the stories just don't add up. Because from what the deputy said, to what the director said, to what Kim Cheadle said, it's just all conflicting stories. So it's absolute nonsense in my opinion. And there are a lot of people who are really suggesting that Trump did not get shot. This person right here, they posted this picture and they said, Donald Trump doesn't want you to see this. Please do not share. Oh, this guy's so excited. He's like, take a look at the ear, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to be honest with you. First off, I don't even know if this is his current ear, and nobody would. And that's the beauty. That's the fun part of Twitter, right? There's a lot of facts on Twitter, but here's also the fun part. So they're saying that this is his ear. If it is, you can easily see something right here. Let me just move up a little bit. Let's get into Eargate. Why not? Why not? That's what this podcast is about. You can easily see a little laceration here. Well, a healed one at least. And then on top of that, you got to remember, listen, when you and I get shot or grazed with a bullet, we're going to look a little different when all is said and done than a billionaire does. Sorry. It's just the way it is. That's what's going to happen. Okay? We're going to get a nurse that's been working for 36 hours straight, and Trump's going to get someone who just woke up and was flown in from Italy because he's the best to ever do it, and he has a new healing process, and that's it. That's just the way it is. Sorry, guys. They're going to put stem cells on his stuff, and all they're going to do for us, they're just going to give us some chicken wire. They're going to be like, okay, you're all right. Get out of here. That's it. Sorry. You get some Tylenol. That's it. This is the way it works. Sorry, guys. I don't make the rules. Anyway, this is very interesting. This is actually a video of ABC talking with the local SWAT team. And the story, again, thickens. How many times does this plot thicken as you hear different sides? Now you're hearing from the local SWAT team, and listen to what they said.
A team from Beaver County, Pennsylvania knew something about the scrawny young man seemed off. He can be seen in this video obtained by ABC affiliate WTAE skulking around former President Trump's rally. Text messages between local snipers show they noticed Thomas Matthew Crooks at 4:26 p.m., nearly 2 hours before the attempted assassination that would injure Trump, kill a man, and severely hurt 2 others. You see me go out with my rifle, one of the snipers texted, so he knows you guys are up there. By 5:14 p.m., they grew suspicious.
He was looking up and down the building and just wandering around, and it just seemed out of place.
Greg Nichols snapped these photos of the shooter.
We had a text group between the local snipers that were on scene. I had sent those pictures out to that group and advised them of what I noticed and what I'd seen.
What do you think is transpiring once you send in what you've sent in?
I assumed that there would be somebody coming out to, speak with this individual or, find out what's going on.
So how do you know if Greg's concerns about crooks are being relayed properly?
We don't. We have to assume that when he put that information out to command, that command took that information and did something with it. We don't know if they did.
None of the concerns appears to have reached members of Trump's Secret Service detail. The Washington Post reports they've complained they were never made aware of the warnings. In their first public comments about the assassination attempt, members of the Beaver County SWAT team described to ABC News what they consider to be failures of planning and communication that would prove catastrophic.
We were supposed to get a face-to-face briefing with the Secret Service snipers whenever they arrived, and that never happened. So I think that was probably a pivotal point where I started thinking things were wrong, because that never happened, and we had no communication with the Secret Service.
You had no communication with the Secret Service at all on that Saturday?
No, not until after the shooting, I believe. Yeah.
And by then?
It was too late.
Wow. So these guys who did have valuable information that was quite needed, just no communication with the Secret Service. Not until after the shots were fired. It's pretty wild. Pretty wild stuff, I have to say. I don't understand, It just seems so grossly incompetent here. I'm going to play the last part, too, because this kind of hit hard, too.
I think we all failed that day.
How so?
Life is lost.
Yeah. People died. And if there's anything that we could have done to stop that, we should have done.
It seems like the local guys are more upset about what happened than the people who are in the Secret Service and FBI. It's very, very interesting, I have to say. Maybe you should give some of these. This guy needs to be put in some kind of position. Because this guy actually cares. He's like, loss of life. That's it. And it's true. You couldn't even get Kim Cheadle to say she did anything wrong. couldn't even tell her that she shouldn't be working the job. She was like, no, I'm very good. I'm very good, actually. I'm the best person in the country for this job. It's crazy. It's crazy. Then we have another guy who's like, I'm not even sure if it was a bullet or not. And another guy's like, I'm definitely sure it was a bullet. What? Talk to these guys. Maybe they should be talking to the local guys, because the local guys knew more about what was going on. It's a pretty sad situation, but like they said in the clip, They really are trying to just make this go away. Talked about J6 way more, definitely more crazy about the climate change than this. And it's just all very telling as you keep breaking these things down, with the kid who took the shot and, no communication with the local departments, and the local departments have vital information for you guys. And, sloped roof. Oh, it was too slopey to be on that roof. Sorry. And then you have other snipers who are on a more sloped roof, and then they're saying, oh, we like to point outwards and not point inwards. And it's just like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's all nonsense. It's all becoming very, very telling. So the last thing I'll touch on is Joe brought up MK Ultra. That's interesting. But that's going a little too... Listen, and believe me, I've done episodes on it and everything. I know all about it. I'm saying it's going a little too far because all the pieces are very clearly laid out. And to go to that place is going a little too far out. A little too far out. The kid was getting visits. The person was going back to DC. They're not communicating with the local people. The local people have vital information for them. They're not taking their shot until the shots are rang out on Trump. It's all very telling. And I'm not going to say it, but you guys already know. Anyways, guys, just wanted to bring you that information. And I'm going to keep bringing information on this attempt as long as new bits come out. Like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. And other than that, I'm out.